What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Dan Banks, aka DJ Fine, CEO of JT. We are Jersey Magazine and Jersey Diamonds. I'm here with the homie Quischandla.
How you doing, man?
You
Quischandla. Nice to be here.
You already know. Artist with a PhD. Remember that phrase. We're gonna probably be saying that a lot today. So, Mr. Quischandla, man, talk to me, brother. So, you in the game a little bit differently, you know, and we're gonna talk about that. And we're gonna talk about the uniqueness of it and how it's very important for people to know what it's like to balance both. So let's first start. You're an educator. You have your PhD.
Yes.
You have a PhD. Graduated actually, was it last year? Last December.
2018.
So definitely big up to him accomplishing that. What has been the trial period of balancing education and being an artist?
So, I mean, they're pretty similar in the sense of, you know, teaching and being in the classroom setting because it's kind of like performing.
Yeah.
You know, I walk into a classroom, I have an audience, and I sit there and, you know, I have something to tell you during our time together. And in the same way as like being an artist and being on stage. So, you know, when you walk into your performance venue, you know, you sit there and you got the people that's there, and you leave with something that, you know, they can, or they can leave with something that you've given them. But the balance of it that, you know, isn't very similar is like, you know, thinking about like marketing strategies and using your creative brain. And really thinking about, you know, making music and writing music and rhyme schemes and being innovative.
Yeah.
You know, some of that stuff, you know, requires you to just focus on just that. And in being an educator, it's like you have a syllabus, you have, you know, something that you're gonna follow, you have textbooks, and, you know, that follows, you know, a specific type of roadmap. And for me, I have to be able to compartmentalize my brain to where, in one sense, you know, I'm the educator, and then I'm educating. You know, the rapper, I'm rapping. But then when I merge them together, I'm a doctor rapper.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, definitely. So now, with obviously being in school full time at the time that you were, what was it like taking time off from being an artist and then coming back? Like, was it an easy transition, or was it something that you had to like practice a little bit and then start releasing stuff? So
in undergrad, you know, it was really very easy for me to balance both because, you know, I graduated with a dual degree, so I had a bachelor's in sociology, but I had another bachelor's in communication, radio, television. Yeah. So that kind of was like, you know, very synonymous to what I was doing, you know, with my music, because I had my own radio show on Monday nights, so I had access to the studio. I had interned at the Wendy Williams show, did that for a little bit. So everything was kind of like really the same, to where I was creating like programs for each and every, you know, day for the shows that I had. And when it came to me making music, you know, I was just thinking about like, you know, projects and how I'm gonna put those together. But when I went and got my master's and everything, you know, became intense, I had moved to Baltimore because I went to Morgan State. And when I got there, it was like I didn't know nobody. Like, I moved to Baltimore on my own, you know, just to challenge myself. So I didn't know any rappers, I didn't know any producers, I didn't know any, you know, engineers. And, you know, being in that type of like intensive education program, it really made me have to take a step back from music, to where I couldn't do both at the same time, because it was just too much to be able to try to, you know, find rappers, find a studio, find an engineer, get the money. So I had to wait and just, you know, think about what I wanted to do, or if I wanted to do this moving forward. And then, you know, towards the tail end of my master's, I started to go to like, you know, some local open mics in Baltimore. Baltimore is very open mic heavy, to where you can go perform every single day if you want to.
Definitely.
And then I started, it kind of like ignited a fire in me to where I wanted to go back to music. So I can definitely say that that time that I had away from it showed me and let me know that I really wanted to do it, but helped me to think about how to go about balancing the two. So when I was doing it, you know, with my doctorate, it was like going to class afterwards, going to the studio. Like, I'm staying up all types of night, like making sure that I'm like getting in the studio, mixing and mastering, finding beats. I was creating like flyers, I was booking venues for shows. And then at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I gotta write this paper. Like, I was completing my dissertation for my doctoral program while I was at South by Southwest. Wow. So I'm in a hotel, like, dissertation up, literature review, typing everything, like, yo, we gotta leave for the show in like 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, give me like 5 more, like, let me finish this last citation, and then I'll be right outside. So like, it was real difficult, and it wasn't something that I could, you know, reach out to anybody else that's been through it, because it's like so unique. So, you know, after a while, it all worked out for the best. So I'm just blessed that I was able to do both.
Definitely. And you recently dropped an album too. You got a whole album out. Definitely. I'm telling you, artists with PhD dropping albums.
Coffee and Chemtrails is out on all streaming platforms. Just pick up your phone or wherever you listen to music, it's in there.
Definitely.
And I talk a lot about that too. You know, I use the Dr. Rapper term a lot. And you know, in that aspect of juggling, it's like in the first track I got on there called All Black No Sugar, I said I did dissertations during EPs, I moved publications while I moved streams, dropped a full 8th album, 9.5 as it went at 8 tracks, I gave it 14. So it's like I'll talk to you about the journey just so it can resonate with you, but at the same time, like, it was not a walk in the park, not at all.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that you were actually able to do that, and you dropped that when you dropped that? Was it?
I dropped that on September 6th.
September 6th.
Yeah.
So even after you graduated, you actually waited some time to even drop.
Yeah. Before I dropped my debut was the Nas tape. I dropped that May of 2018. So it was like right after I finished my dissertation. Literally the same month, I had dropped the Nas tape, which is my first album. And then when I finally got to walk the stage was in December. I had waited up until December, just pushed the Nas tape before I focused on, you know, another project, and then was able to drop this one on September 6th. So, you know, I was just happy that, you know, both of those could have got done during that process.
And you also are creating a lane for other artists to come and ask you to, like, for marketing and consultation and everything. What made you want to open that avenue up for other artists and just other platforms to just come and network with you?
When I was in Baltimore, and like I said, when I moved down there, I was by myself. So, you know, I'm now trying to take my artistry to another level. So I'm going to open mics, I'm creating albums, and I'm trying to figure out exactly like what I'm supposed to do. And I noticed that when you're artists, it's kind of like a secret of what people want to share with you on how to navigate the industry. So I was like investing all this money and all these dollars into things that, you know, I wasn't getting no type of benefit from, or I wasn't seeing the type of results that I wanted. So I had like a publicist that I was paying, I had dished out all of this money, and she had jerked me, and I was like, why did I put all this money into this person that I thought was a publicist that was more so just an entertainment lawyer or a PR person? Then I was like, you know, paying for shows in certain places where, you know, I was performing in front of a bunch of artists. You know, I got a track on my album called F the Promoter, you know, and like, I like promoters. You know, I promote myself and I have good relationships with promoters, but I lost so much money investing in, yo, I'm gonna give you $500 for 5 minutes on stage, and when I get there, it's gonna be nothing but me and a bunch of other rappers that paid you $500, and we can't really do anything but just, you know, try to collaborate. There's nobody here that's gonna be able to see us, and I wanted to navigate the industry a little bit smarter. So being from that situation and coming back home to Jersey, I was like, there needs to be a platform that could somewhat like help gatekeep on what that looks like to navigate the industry. Help artists that look to, you know, work independently on where to invest their money, right? And if they have projects that they want to put together, you know, what's the right course of action to do it to make sure that you're not making bad investments and taking away or diminishing all your resources.
Yeah. So you're basically tying your education into your other business now, but just educating people on the do's and the don'ts.
Exactly. So, you know, with True and Living, they can follow them on all streaming platforms. And you go to our website, truenlivinllc.com. We have, you know, all types of consultation that we do with people. We help with marketing, budgeting, you know, digital media strategies, a bunch of different things. So if you have a need, you know, we try to fill that void. Definitely. Yeah.
And my last question, what is the kind of keys we're seeing on this new album, man, that you just dropped? I mean, I know the feedback is definitely something different. It's like, oh, we're seeing him involved, like, this dope. Yeah. What kind of keys are we seeing?
So with this, you know, with the first album I dropped, you know, I used my homeboy Janai. Janai is dope on Instagram, and he pretty much produced the entire project. Me and him were working together for almost 6 years now. Yeah. And with this album, he wanted me to use different producers, and that was the first time that I ever like left and tried something new. But it worked out because the production on this album is crazy to the point of I was able to take and create that medium of, you know, I want to kick knowledge in the way I want to do it, but at the same time I also want to, you know, show you my edge, you know, because at the same time it's like I'm in the classroom and, you know, I don't want my music to seem PC, but I do want you to feel where I'm coming from in certain things that I say. So I have an aggressive side, you know, and I have a side that I can gloat. I have a side that I can boast about some of the things that I did. But at the end of the day, you know, the overall goal is to just inspire people to do, exactly what they want. To go and get a doctorate and become a college professor is something that, where I come from is seems very impossible, and coming from an underprivileged community, it's just going to college in itself is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to just be able to, number one, inspire people that if you want a goal, you can go out and achieve it. Number two, if education is that goal and you want to reach it and you want to push forward to your limits and receiving all the information, you can do it. And then number three, if there's other things that you want to juggle at the same time, such as, your passion or things that are a little bit more tangible, you can do both. So, with this album, I break that down, talk about my journey, talk about some of the things that I go through currently in my life. Mental health is another thing that I touch on because, that's part of, the things that I teach in the classroom. So, you get a little bit of all of that. And I have some very dope features on there too.
Most definitely. Can't wait to hear it, man. I'm telling you, this guy is dope. And this album inspires everyone, every platform.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, man. Keys, we are Jersey Magazine. How can they book you? Follow me, brother. Definitely.
You can follow me at Quischandla on all social media platforms. Quischandla. You can also go to Truenlivinllc if you want any services or see any other information about upcoming shows that I have and things of that nature. And if you guys are open or free on November 17th, I have my Coffee and Chemtrails live show as well. So you'll see me there.
You heard it here first, man. We are Jersey Magazine. Keys.
Signing off, man. Appreciate you.
In the building.
Jersey turned up entertainment. Entertainment.